Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world.
I've been looking around for salvation. I've been looking around for the truth. All around me I see frustration, and I looked all over till I found you. I sit and listen to your stories, and you're telling me, please don't worry. So lot in this world you should know, and love in life is where you should go. If you're looking for somewhere to go, if you're looking for someone to know, if you're looking for someone to guide you, then love in life will guide you.
Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world, and welcome to tonight's live stream. Now, we're coming to the end of 2020. Wow, how this year has flown. But let me just tell you what's happening with Loving Life. First of all, I hope you enjoyed our new look theme song, all set for 2021. You can see the interesting people we interview on Loving Life, most nights at 8 p.m. Johannesburg time. While we wait for Ramaphosa to appear, let me update you on this channel's big plans for 2021. First off, from the 1st of January, all nightly live streams held at 8 p.m. Johannesburg time will be held on the Loving Life Alive channel, not this main Loving Life channel. I know this sounds terribly confusing, but we do have two YouTube channels. Now I'm going to put the Loving Life Live channel link in the side chat. Please do subscribe to that channel, because that is where we're going to be holding our live streams from the 1st of January. All right, in the coming year, we will be transitioning off YouTube, which has become an obstacle course for creators with YouTube's increasing censorship and draconian ways. Our new platform is at lovinglifetv.com, which is completely separate from the YouTube platform. I'll put that link into the side chat as well. Please do register there. There you go. All right, now please register and bookmark at this new platform, as we already have some very important videos about the virus and the vaccine that would be taken down if they were on YouTube. Registering is completely free. We already have over 1,000 people registered on the new Loving Life TV platform, which only went up a few days ago. It is still under development. Several other YouTube channels will join lovinglifetv.com during 2021. So the depth of news you will get about South Africa from one source will be unmatched anywhere on the internet. Please remember to subscribe to Loving Life to be kept informed. That's this channel that you're watching right now. Now, while we're waiting for Ramaphosa, and let's face it, we're talking about a health scare, aren't we? We're talking about a pandemic. So you would think that South Africa would be cognizant of this fact. Well, apparently not so much. I had a email sent to me, and this fellow Well, I'll tell you what he says. So he said, so we went to Klerksdorp Hospital this morning for my checkup, as it was my appointment day. I broke my leg and had to have it pinned, etc. I ran out of antibiotics and pain medication, so my script needed to be filled up as well. I am a type 1 diabetic, so I am prone to infection, have not been feeling well the last couple of days. High sugars and high fever. So on arrival at hospital, we came across this scene. I'm going to show you a short video. It's absolutely disgusting. Staff were on strike and they could not help us. After an hour's wait, we were sent away without any help or medication. This is quite extraordinary. Let me get this up for you. This is at Klerksdorp Hospital. This is under Ramaphosa's watch. Okay, I think you get the idea of what's going on there. This is the fantastic South African public health system, which we know is a death trap. It's absolutely disgusting what's happening there. But I wanted to share that with you so you could see firsthand what is going on. Now, while we're waiting for Ramaphosa, we are a couple of minutes early, but I'll just put that up there, and I'm just going to go and have a look at the side chat and see what people are saying. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I hope you all had a great Christmas. If you had a great, relaxing Christmas with family type 1, if the ANC government and their COVID-19 shutdown and restrictions stuffed up your Christmas, please type 2. Let's get a bit of a survey on who had a good Christmas and who had a really stuffed up one, thanks to this ANC government. Yeah, Mitch says, my father lost his life due to neglect from the clinic he was in. He recovered from COVID and died simply from the staff treating him like he was a senile old man. In a private hospital, I might add. Wow, that was a private hospital. Gee. Well, it looks like most people had a good Christmas despite the lockdown. That's really good to see. That's excellent to see. There are a few twos coming in. I'd love to hear your stories. So, what do people think Ramaphosa is going to do tonight? Do we think that he's going to take us to a level 5 that quite a few people are suggesting is going to be the case? Or do you think that we know he's not going to relax the restrictions or the lockdown? What I find very interesting is that people are saying that this new variant of COVID-19 is actually less deadly, but it's more infectious. You know what it's sounding like more and more? The flu. Yeah, the flu, the common flu. That's what it's sounding like. And what about the PCV tests, which apparently even kiwi fruit show positive results for? Quite extraordinary. You know, we live in a crazy, crazy world. And we've got people like Bill Gates and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation basically running the World Health Organization. You can understand why the whole of the world is in such a lot of shit right now. It's absolutely disgusting. Okay, guys, we're just waiting for Ramaphosa. He should be coming on in about the next 30 seconds, hopefully. And as soon as he comes on, we will go straight to him. I'm just waiting for that to happen. Okay. Good on you. White Diamond says, Ramaphosa can do whatever he likes. He will not break my spirit. Well, that's the way to go, guys. That's the way to go. There is one thing for sure. We live in biblical times. There's no question about that. Kanaba writes, you had a video a while ago where my dad was a cancer patient, also showed a way with no treatment. He passed away on the 28th of October. That is completely disgusting. That's completely disgusting. You know, if you can't have a public health system that works, why worry with a lockdown? Seriously. Oh, did you hear you probably won't have heard this, but if you go to lovinglifetv.com and have a look at the videos I've put up about vaccines and viruses, you'll see that the latest news is that the World Health Organization have changed their page, which originally said herd immunity is reached when either there's a vaccine that most people have, or when most people have actually had, or about 60 to 70% of people have had the COVID-19 virus, so they've gained immunity within themselves. Guess what has been taken out of that equation just in the last couple of days on that same World Health Organization webpage? Well, let me tell you, the only way you can now get herd immunity is by everybody having the vaccine. Extraordinary. This is true. You can go and check it out. This is how cactus the whole system is, and countries and governments just bow to them. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, guys, we're now just waiting. We're running into after 8 p.m. I'm just waiting for Ramaphosa to appear. Here he comes, I think. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me just get this up. Here we go. All right. So, while we're just waiting, I'll just keep on looking at the side chat.
Fellow South Africans,
Here we go.
in just 4 days from now, we will be ushering in a new year. This is traditionally a time of festivity and celebrations. Unfortunately for us here in South Africa, and for others around the world, there is little cause for celebration this year. Yesterday, we passed the mark of more than 1 million confirmed coronavirus cases in our country. Nearly 27,000 South Africans are known to have died from COVID-19. The number of new coronavirus infections is climbing at an alarming and unprecedented rate. More than 50,000 new cases have been reported since Christmas Eve. The majority of new cases are emerging in KwaZulu-Natal, the Western Cape, Gauteng, and the Eastern Cape. Infections are also alarmingly on the rise in Limpopo. Infections are on the rise in part because, as humans, we are social beings and have an inherent need to socialize with one another. We feel the need to visit friends and family. We attend religious services, and we go to parties. But this is a time of heightened danger in the face of a rising global pandemic. Across the world, countries are having to take drastic measures to curb the new waves of infections. In a number of other countries, lockdowns are being imposed even on our own continent in some countries. We will all have heard that there is a new variant of COVID-19 that is now well established in South Africa. Our scientists briefed me the other day together with the minister, and they've been studying this new variant called 501.V2. And they've been studying it, its spread, and its effect. It appears that it may be more contagious than the virus that drove the first wave of infections. The rapid rise in infections is being fueled by so-called super spreader events, including year-end functions, family and social gatherings, and music and cultural events. This is where infections happen most. This is a cause for great alarm and points to an extreme lack of vigilance amongst us over the holiday period. We have simply let our guard down, and unfortunately, we are now paying the price. We have not been wearing our masks. We are not washing our hands or sanitizing, and we are not keeping a safe distance from others. We've continued to host and attend social gatherings and events that in many cases violate the public health regulations. As has been the case previously, social gatherings substantially increase the risk of transmission. Venues are often poorly ventilated where these social gatherings take place, and their permitted capacity is continuously exceeded. Hand sanitizing is not used at all, and masks are worn just to gain entry into the venue, only to be taken off once people are inside. In these same social gatherings, the consumption of alcohol in places like restaurants and nightclubs and taverns has contributed to risky behavior like not wearing masks, because people always take their masks off and they don't observe social distancing once they are under the influence of alcohol. Excessive alcohol consumption is also driving up the number of trauma cases in our hospitals. According to the data that we have, with every relaxation of the restrictions on the sale of alcohol, the number of trauma cases reporting at our hospitals has increased. These trauma cases from bullet wounds, stabbings, motor vehicle accidents, and many others are putting an unnecessary strain on our already stretched public health facilities. Our hospitals, both the private and public hospitals, are already close to full capacity in a number of provinces, and ICU beds are either full already or rapidly filling up. In the Eastern Cape, for example, the number of hospitalizations and in-hospital deaths has now surpassed the numbers witnessed in the first surge earlier this year. Several provinces are hard at work to prepare additional beds, ventilators, and oxygen to respond to this increase. Our frontline healthcare workers, who have put their lives on the line over the past 9 months to care for the ill, are becoming infected themselves in higher numbers. They are exhausted, and they are struggling under the strain of the second wave already. During the month of December, 4,630 public sector health workers contracted COVID-19, bringing the total number infected since the start of the pandemic to over 41,000 health workers. Yesterday, I saw a social media post from a doctor in one of our facilities, which I would like to share with you because in many ways it captures the situation that our health workers are having to face on a daily basis. He writes, "Half our consultants have COVID. More than half my colleagues had COVID or are currently in quarantine. Hospital is full. No oxygen points. Private hospitals are full. Not accepting more patients. No beds anywhere. And this is not yet the peak. Guys," he ends, "we are all going to pay for your inability to be responsible with our lives." Close quote. These brave men and women who have kept our hospitals and clinics open and running through their resilience, courage, and professionalism are now at even greater risk than before. They are themselves almost at break point. They could lose their lives. More families will mourn, all because of our actions and our failure as a people to take responsibility. We are at an extremely dangerous point in our fight against the pandemic. Unless we act now, and unless we act decisively, the number of new infections will far exceed what we experienced during the first wave, and thousands more people will lose their lives. On the recommendation of the National Coronavirus Command Council and after consultation with provinces and our metro mayors, the Cabinet met this morning and has decided to put the country on an adjusted level 3 from level 1, with immediate effect from midnight tonight. Several of the level 3 regulations are being strengthened to further limit the potential for transmission, while doing everything possible to keep the economy open. We have adjusted the restrictions that will apply at level 3 based on the lessons that we have learned through our response to date. There are 4 main reasons for this step. Firstly, we want to minimize the risk of super spreader events even further. As the number of people with active infections rises, there is a greater risk of an infected person without symptoms being present in a gathering and spreading the virus. Secondly, we want to decrease unsafe interactions between people. Thirdly, we want to increase the implementation of our 5 key prevention measures, they being social distancing, the wearing of masks, hand hygiene, symptom checking and testing. Fourthly, we want to decrease the burden on healthcare services so that resources can be directed to meet the needs of COVID-19 and other patients. These are the key reasons. Under the adjusted level 3 regulations, all indoor and outdoor gatherings will be prohibited for 14 days from midnight tonight, except for funerals and other limited exceptions as detailed in the regulations such as restaurants, museums, gyms, casinos. These will further be set out by the Minister in regulations and will be reviewed after that period. Funerals may not be attended by more than 50 people with social distancing. Every business premise must determine the maximum number of staff and customers permitted at any one time based on the social distancing guidelines and may not exceed that limit. Coming to curfew. The nationwide curfew will be extended from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Apart from permitted workers and for medical and security emergencies, nobody, and that means nobody, is allowed outside their place of residence during curfew. Non-essential establishments, including shops, restaurants, bars, and all cultural venues, must close at 8 p.m. The list of these establishments will be released shortly. We now know that the simplest and most effective way to reduce transmission of the coronavirus is to wear a cloth mask that covers the nose and the mouth whenever in public. Until now, the owners and managers of shops and public buildings, employers and operators of public transport have had a legal responsibility to ensure that everyone entering their premises or vehicle is wearing a mask. But given the grave danger our country now faces, the adjusted Level 3 regulations will make every individual, meaning everyone, responsible legally for wearing a mask in public. From now on, it is compulsory for every person to wear a mask in a public space. A person who does not wear a mask covering over their nose and mouth in a public place will be committing an offense. A person who does not wear a mask could be arrested and prosecuted. On conviction, they will be liable to a fine or to imprisonment for a period not exceeding 6 months, or both a fine and imprisonment. I must admit that this is a drastic measure, but it is now necessary to ensure compliance with the most basic of preventative measures. We remain particularly concerned about the elderly and those with comorbidities, that is, with other ailments, and ask that they do their utmost to protect themselves from the virus, especially minimizing their contact with other people. One of the more difficult areas of regulation relates to the sale of alcohol. The liquor industry is a major employer and an important contributor to our economy. Our priority at this time, however, must be to save lives. Reckless behavior due to alcohol intoxication has contributed to increased transmission. Alcohol-related accidents and violence are putting pressure on our hospital emergency units. As we head to in the early days of the lockdown, we now have to flatten the curve to protect the capacity of our healthcare system, to enable it to respond effectively to this new wave of infections. In such a scenario, every piece of medical equipment, every hospital bed, every healthcare worker, and every oxygen tank is needed to save lives. Therefore, under the strengthened regulations, the sale of alcohol from retail outlets and on-site consumption of alcohol will not be permitted. The prohibition on consuming alcohol in public spaces like parks and beaches remains. Distribution and transportation will be prohibited with exceptions that will be explained by the Minister. These regulations may be reviewed within the next few weeks if we see a sustained decline in infections and hospital admissions as we did before. In effect, the adjusted Level 3 regulations will keep the economy open while strengthening measures to reduce transmission. With a few exceptions, businesses may continue to operate as long as all relevant health protocols and social distancing measures are adhered to. Nightclubs and businesses engaged in the sale and transportation of liquor will not be allowed to operate. The Level 3 restrictions will remain in place until the 15th of January 2021. These measures will be reviewed at that time on the basis of the state of the pandemic in our country. When I last addressed you, I indicated that in managing the pandemic, we would follow a differentiated approach that took into account the rise in infections in particular municipalities. Municipalities defined as hotspots will be subject to additional restrictions until there is a clear and sustained decline in infections. Following a review of the latest available data on infections and hospitalizations and consultations with affected provinces, Cabinet has decided that the following further areas be declared coronavirus hotspots. In the Eastern Cape, these are Chris Hani District, Buffalo City, Amatole District, Alfred Nzo District, and the OR Tambo District. These are in addition to Nelson Mandela Bay Metro and the Sarah Bartman District, which have already been declared hotspots. In KwaZulu-Natal, these hotspot areas are eThekwini, uMgungundlovu District, Ugu District, Herigwala District, King Cetshwayo District, and Ilembe District. In Gauteng, the West Rand District, Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, and Johannesburg are declared hotspots as well. In the Western Cape, the West Coast District, Overberg District, Winelands District, Cape Town, Central Karoo District are hotspots. This is in addition to the Garden Route District as well. In the Northwest, Bujanala District is declared a hotspot area. And in Limpopo, the Waterberg District and the Capricorn District are declared coronavirus hotspots. When I last addressed you, we announced that certain beaches in our country would be closed on certain days and others would remain open. As the infections continue to rise, Cabinet, on the advice of the National Coronavirus Command Council, has decided that all beaches, dams, lakes, rivers, public parks, and public swimming pools in hotspot areas will be closed to the public with effect from tomorrow. National and provincial parks and other parks where access control measures and entry limitations are already in place may remain open to the public. Those living in hotspot districts are strongly advised and encouraged to minimize their travel within the district to essential travel so as to minimize contact with other people. Travel to hotspot districts should be avoided by all of us if possible. The stark reality is that every single district in this country has the potential to become a hotspot unless we observe the current preventative measures. As we intensify our efforts to prevent further infections, we continue to work to ensure equitable access to an effective COVID-19 vaccine. As we have reported before, South Africa is part of the global pooled procurement initiative coordinated by COVID-19 Vaccines Global Access Facility, commonly known as COVAX. We can confirm that we have signed off on the agreement with COVAX, and the Solidarity Fund has made the initial payment of 283 million rand to the facility. We are grateful for the support we continue to receive from the Solidarity Fund across all areas of our COVID response. We should remember that the Solidarity Fund is a multi-sectoral funded initiative, having received funding from government, a number of individual South Africans, also from various institutions including political parties, as well as business corporations. We are part of the first group of countries that will receive an allocation of vaccines from COVAX. We have been advised that we should expect the vaccines in our country in the second quarter of 2021. We are also having parallel bilateral discussions with a number of vaccine manufacturers and will make further announcements once firm agreements are in place. As a country, we need to build a strong partnership between the government and business to augment the resources required in financing additional vaccines necessary to achieve herd immunity. Engagement to this effect are at an advanced stage, and we urge the private sector to continue their participation in this endeavor. And we applaud them for having embarked on an initiative that will be beneficial to all South Africans, but announcements in this regard will be made in due course. We are working to secure a sufficient supply of vaccines in the shortest possible time to protect the most vulnerable in our community. Until then, we have no choice but to observe the highest degree of vigilance and to protect ourselves and others in every way that we can. We each have a responsibility to wear our masks, to continue washing our hands and sanitizing them, and to continue keeping a safe distance from others. We must remember that this virus is carried through the air and that we must therefore avoid what has been described as the 3 C's: closed spaces, crowded places, and close contact with others. This virus takes advantage of our overconfidence. Because we feel healthy now, we think we cannot get sick. Because they seem fine, we believe that nothing bad can happen to our loved ones. As older people, we think it is okay. We are healthy, so we can still go to big religious services, to funerals, and socialize with our friends. I had a conversation with a friend who informed me that they have lost up to 5 family members who attended funerals of each other. And a sad, dark cloud has descended on their family. This virus is real. As young people, we may feel strong and invincible and believe that we are immune to becoming infected because we are young and strong. As a result, we let our guard down and we take risks. Many of those who have been infected with the virus or who have lost their friends and family in recent months will tell you how much they regret not taking the precautions that have been so well advertised when they had the chance. We can only weather this storm if we immediately and fundamentally change our behavior and our mindsets. Compliance with the health regulations should not be simply about fearing the wrath of the law. It should not be about reluctant observance or peer pressure. This is about common sense. It is about taking responsibility for our own health and the health of others. It is about protecting our mothers and fathers, our grandparents, our siblings, our children, our neighbors, our friends, our colleagues. Wearing a mask is not about your personal choice or your own appetite for risk. Instead, it is about protecting others. If you wear a mask and the person next to you does not, then you are not protected. If you wear a mask and the person next to you keeps their mask in their pocket, then you are at risk. Only if everyone wears a mask can we protect all of us from infection. By now, each one of us knows someone who has been affected by this pandemic in some way. There is none amongst us who can claim that we have not heard of anyone becoming ill or even dying. This is a crisis that affects all of us. This is about our lives. The sooner we understand that it could very well be us in that ambulance speeding by, or us in that hospital bed, or us being buried at that funeral, the sooner we come to the reality of what we are facing right now. If we do not understand it, or if we didn't understand it before, we should now see just how quickly a situation can change for the worse. This is precisely what we are facing now. Our situation has changed for the worse. The new year is upon us. Our children will soon be going back to school. Places of learning will soon reopen so that they can resume their studies. We will want to get back to work, to earning, and to looking for work. We want our life to resume. We all have plans and hopes and dreams for 2021. Perhaps the greatest of them all is the simplest. We wish for the new year to bring better health, stability, and prosperity for ourselves and our families. We want it to be better than the year that has passed, because it's been a horrible year. It's been a year that has been filled with hardship. This can become our common reality if we return to the spirit of solidarity that we have displayed throughout 2020. We can. And we will and we must defeat this pandemic. But we can only do so if we all play our part. If we experience any mild symptoms, such as a fever, a dry cough, or a tiredness, the advice is you must isolate yourself immediately and cancel any plans that you might have had. If you have difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, fever, cough, loss of smell or taste, seek medical attention immediately. We've often said that you should download the COVID Alert SA app and get notified if you have been in contact with someone with tests who have tested positive. This app has already notified many thousands of people of their potential exposure to the virus and has prevented further transmission. If you have been exposed, quarantine yourself immediately. I know that most of you have heard of this all before, but I say it again, because it is the only way we can keep ourselves and one another safe. If we all rigorously adhere to the basic precautions, and I beg you all, we will see an immediate decline in the infections and hospital admissions. This New Year's Eve will be different to any we have experienced before. Several South Africans have suggested on social media and in many other platforms that we should celebrate the dawn of the new year in a different way, and I agree with them. They have suggested that instead of parties, let us spend time with those closest to us. I support that. There have been a number of suggestions, as I said, in social media that instead of fireworks, which is the usual way in which we welcome the new year, let us each light a candle. Let us each light a candle in memory of those who have lost their lives, in tribute to those on the front line who are working tirelessly to protect us from harm, in appreciation of the great sacrifices that have been made by all those who have passed on this year, and in the confidence that the year ahead will bring health, will bring peace and hope to our people. I will light a candle at some spot here in Cape Town at exactly midnight on New Year's Eve, in memory of those who have lost their lives and in tribute to those who are on the front line working to save our lives and protect us from harm. I also ask you to join me, wherever you are, in this very important symbolic gesture. Let us continue to work as one nation, united and determined. We have done it before, and we can do it again. There will come a day when this pandemic will be over. On that day, we must be able to look one another in the face and say, we gave it all that we had. We each played our part. We worked together as one nation, and we prevailed. May God continue to bless our beautiful country and protect her valuable people. I thank you.
All right, guys, there it is. There it is. That's the update from your favorite president, Cyril Hippo Eyes Ramaphosa. No wonder we call him Hippo Eyes. He belongs in a swamp, doesn't he? With a new world order? Right. Okay, there we go, guys. You heard it firsthand with Hippo Eyes. And Let's face it, the reason we call him Hippo Eyes is because he belongs in a swamp with his New World Order guys. Now, what I'm going to do now is ask those watching, because we've got quite a big crowd here, if they'd like to join a group Zoom session for, say, 30 minutes to discuss what Ramaphosa had to say. If you'd like to be part of that, please put 1 in the side chat. If you don't think it's a good idea, please put 2 in the side chat. If we get a number of 1s, we will then set up a Zoom group chat. All right, over to you guys. I'll wait to see what you think. I'll just get the Zoom side ready. Okay, we have a large number of 1s. Okay, all right, here it is. Here's the link for Zoom. I'll put the link for Zoom in there again. Hi, Michael. Welcome to Zoom.
Hi.
Or welcome to Loving Life, I guess I should say. Let me just see if the other people who are joining us. What did you think of Ramaphosa's ramblings?
I only got the last little bit of it. I just heard something about the masks being now a criminal offense, and I didn't catch everything else. That's why I decided to join the chat just to see what
Hi, Michael. Welcome to Zoom. Oh, you better turn that down.
Hi. Sorry.
You better turn down your audio. That's better.
Yeah.
Okay. We got Devet HP joining us, and we've got I got a few other people coming through now. Seb is joining us. Hi, Colleen. How are you? Hi, Devet. Hi, Seba. Hi, Michael. Welcome to Zoom. Hey, guys, you got to turn your audio down, okay? We can't have the echo happening the whole time. All right. Who would like to tell me what they think about what happened tonight with Ramaphosa's speech? How about you, Genevieve? Would you like to tell us what you thought?
I don't think I can say that on air.
Hey guys, you got to turn your audio down, okay? we're getting a few echoes coming through. Who would like to tell me what they? Okay, guys, turn off your audio if you're coming through on Zoom. Okay.
Prohibited on
Would you like to tell us what you thought? Colleen, what did you think of tonight's speech by Ramaphosa?
Audio.
I can hear you. Okay, well, look, we got a bunch of guys in here. We've got about 12, 15 people in here at the moment. Just someone tell me what they thought of tonight's speech. Has everybody got shy all of a sudden? Who's that guy who's just grunted? Come on, you tell me what you think of the speech. Paul? Hello,
Yeah,
Paul.
I'm here.
What did you think of the speech by Ramaphosa?
I'm still not sure what it means for the special districts, but until they address the local areas, the African areas, what difference is it going to make?
Yeah, well, apparently in the townships, it's just totally out of control, isn't it?
No, it's totally out of control. Even the taxi ranks.
Okay, I'm just admitting a whole bunch of people are coming through right now. Okay, here we go. Admit. All right, we got about 20 people in the Zoom now. Welcome to Zoom, all the new people who just joined us. That's Valerie, Jan, Kim, Rian, Kimberly, Gavin Bauer. Yeah, okay, so all these people are coming in. All right, look, Fred, what did you think of Ramaphosa's speech?
I wasn't that happy with the speech. This whole COVID thing is a load of rubbish. It's an introduction to the one world government, and I don't agree with it at all.
Right, and what do you think of the restrictions that Ramaphosa talked about? Okay, we've got a bunch more people coming through. Oh, we're going to have a lot of people in here. Okay, Kimberly.
Scott, did you hear what I said?
Yes, I didn't catch that last bit. No. What did you think of the restrictions that Ramaphosa put in?
I wasn't happy with the speech.
Okay, guys, turn off your live stream audio. Otherwise, we're going to get the echo coming through. Derek, what did you think of the speech? That last bit, no. What did you think of the
So the whole thing was he never mentioned.
Guys, turn off your live stream audio, otherwise we're going to get the echo coming through.
Oh, okay.
Derek, what did you think of the speech? The last bit, no. What did you think of the Okay, the fellow on screen, tell me what you thought of Ramaphosa's speech.
So the whole thing was he never mentioned.
Guys, turn off your live stream audio, otherwise we're going to get the echo coming through. Okay, I'm admitting a bunch more people. Lisa, Mike, Compact, Potkiri, Dani.
We need to keep the alcohol open. We need to keep the bottle stores open.
The fellow on screen, tell me what you thought of Ramaphosa's speech.
So the whole thing was he never mentioned.
Okay, guys, you got to turn your audios off, otherwise we can't hear anything. Okay, so just if you got the live stream audio, just give it the flick.
I was trapped inside of.
We need to keep the alcohol open.
This is totally out of control, guys. Hi, Compact. Tell me what you thought of Ramaphosa's speech.
Okay, so hi,
Yeah, carry on.
Guys, I run Zoom meetings. I will help you.
Okay, cool.
Hold on, guys. Okay, guys, I run Zoom meetings. I will help you if you want. Guys, I run Zoom meetings. Okay, so I run Zoom meetings. I will help you.
Okay, cool.
Hold on, guys.
Okay,
everybody,
I'm gonna...
you need to switch your YouTube channel to silent.
not your Zoom meeting mic. You need to switch your YouTube channel audios off.
Please carry on. You run Zoom meetings. Tell us what you suggest.
Can everyone pause their screen? Can everyone pause their sound?
Okay, everybody turn off your
Can
mics.
everyone pause their sound?
Yeah, just mute yourself. Well, let me
Please
mute.
pause.
I'm
Mute your sound.
gonna mute people individually, and so we can see who's got the sound on. We'll just keep them muted.
Please mute your sound. Okay. Please. Okay. Please mute your sound, everybody.
Okay, I think I know who it is. I think it's Kimberly. Okay, I think we've got rid of that. Okay, I think Kimberly had the audio on. All right, back to you, the expert, Zoom expert.
Okay. Right. So.
Okay, I think we're clear now. So, tell me what you thought of Ramaphosa's speech tonight. I can't hear you. You've got your mute on.
Kimberly, you still got your mute on.
Sorry. Okay. So, I think what we should do is everybody is muted. Welcome everybody.
I'm going to knock Kimberly out of the Zoom session if she doesn't turn off her audio.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna. Sorry, Kimberly, but I've got to remove you out of here because you've got your audio on and you've got your mute on. Okay. All right. There we go. I think we got rid of the problem. Okay, now, the fellow who's on screen, what did you think of Ramaphosa's speech tonight?
Me.
Okay, come on, tell me what you thought of the speech tonight. Everybody's...
Uncle Scott, the level 3 is, I didn't catch the whole speech. Did he mention anything about as the previous standard level 3 that we locked down to? Does all that regulation still being standard in that level 3?
It was such a rambling speech. I lost track of what he was talking about, quite honestly. Now, the other fellow who was on a moment ago, would you like to put your comments about what you thought of Ramaphosa's speech?
Yes, I surely would like to. Basically, if you see how he led up everything to the speech, and he basically tried to blame everybody for what's going to happen, and then he laid it on us. And if you notice very, very carefully, your previous videos about the changes to the WHO's definition of herd immunity, he is already indoctrinated in that. So you tell me who wrote his speech.
Yeah. What do you think the most outrageous thing that he said was tonight?
I think a lot of it's outrageous. They haven't thought about any of the economical things that are happening. He spoke about bars closing at a certain time, and then he spoke about alcohol being taken away. So how does that work?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense. They haven't thought this through. They've basically decided that they're going to put on these regulations, and we all know the pandemic status of it's another flu, and you know, what are they trying to achieve? Are they actually trying to achieve what the globalists want to happen? They want the economies to crash. So
yeah.
This is, if you look what they're doing, they're closing down every single small business that they can, and making everybody think, oh, it's all our fault.
Yeah, they're basically destroying the economy, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Yep. Someone else
Mike,
wanted to get a word in?
Thank you for your time, and to the next one.
Yeah.
Mike, if I can elaborate on that section, crashing the economy and that, and the fact that they don't actually know what they are doing is that they are following the narrative of other countries. So if the UK or the US comes with stricter lockdowns and that sort of thing, like what happened in the UK roughly about 2 weeks ago, they will follow that narrative because they don't have a solid plan for the circumstances in South Africa only. So they don't deal with the situation in South Africa. So if the UK goes and do a level up or a level down, and that's what I've been following the whole year, is that, if Donald Trump or whoever says something about their country, then a week later they will come in and they will exactly do the same. So they're just following a path here, and they're not actually looking at our country and identifying the hotspots. Like PE was, in my view, was totally unnecessary. What they started blaming the Western Cape for numbers going up here. Now all of a sudden, in the last 3-4 days, it's Gauteng. In the meantime, KwaZulu-Natal, you can swim wherever you want to. EFF protested yesterday on the beach. There no licenses, no permits for that, anything of that kind. So, in my view, whichever way they run this, it's not their decision. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle this at all.
Right. Okay, now let's get some more views here. Let me ask Sean Cooper what he thinks. What do you think, Sean?
How's Scott? This is obviously, I think we've touched on this international program for any type of middle class business, society in general, to make people sort of dependent on handouts, and those handouts will depend on qualifying to some other state. And
well, that's socialism and communism, isn't it?
They're going to sort of find some way to push this through. Totally, yeah. This is what it is.
Well, I guess that's their mandate anyway, to move South Africa to a communist state. Galaxy, what would you like to say?
They've got to find a way to
carry on, Sean. Yeah.
I just want to say they've got to find a way to make this accepted by everybody, and they can't very well force people, otherwise you could probably sue them. So you've got to take it willingly. So that's where I think this clause is, that you can't take them to court if there's obviously problems with the vaccine, which they are going to do. And so they're going to make your life difficult. They're going to make you have to have this thing and this passport to be able to go and think of normal. That's basically the program. And they're going to institute this ongoing.
Right. Now, Paul, you've got your hand up. What would you like to say?
I want to see some more elaboration about this fine and prison time for not wearing a mask. I mean, it's pretty extreme. It's very Chinese model.
Yeah, I find it extraordinary that they can even consider sending people to prison for not wearing a mask. I mean, these guys over Christmas, there's this famous photo of Ramaphosa and all his top ANC guys cutting the cake, and one of them had a mask on, and they were all gathered together. It's like two sets of rules, isn't it?
Well, we've seen that play out all over in America as well, where certain governors of largely democratic states have gone and just done their own thing, caught flights around places, go to restaurants, as if there's no problem. This is.
Hello, Peter.
How are you doing, Scott?
Great, buddy, great. Tell me what you thought of Ramaphosa's speech.
Yeah, a lot of hot air again. Basically, what I'm the couple of things that I wanted to touch on. One was, isn't herd immunity about the majority of the people getting the
It used to be, yes,
virus,
and that's
I mean,
the scientific way of fixing this in the past.
but now he's trying to stop people getting it.
Well,
and
yeah,
and if you've got your mask on and I don't have one on next to you, how am I a threat to you? You've got your mask on, so you're safe.
well, I'll tell you, I actually said this at the very start of this live stream. What actually happened is the World Health Organization on their website, I actually put a video up about this yesterday, on their actual website. Previously, they said that the way that you can actually stop a virus is through herd immunity, which involved either vaccinating up to 60% of the population or up to 60% of the population getting the virus, because then they would have resistance to the virus. That's what they used to have on their page. Just the last few days, they've changed it to the only way you can get herd immunity is by everybody being vaccinated. That's on the World Health Organization. I know that this is what crap it is, and yet YouTube listen to every single thing that the World Health Organization says. So I don't know how they're going to change the stats on that.
But they've been wrong with everything. They like Fauci.
Well,
Fauci. I mean, everything he's said has been wrong.
Yeah, well, Bill Gates is the main funder of the World Health Organization.
Yeah, we know that. I'd like to see these stats. I'd like somebody to show me, first of all, how they've isolated the virus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's the proof that there is a virus? Nobody shows you. I challenge them. I challenge anybody in the world. Show me the virus and where it's been isolated.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Now, let me ask Rian. I think Rian wants to join the conversation. Rian, what's your thoughts on this? You'll have to take your mute off.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Rian.
Yeah, Hi, everybody. Yeah, I just think this is totally ridiculous. I'm in the garden route. Tourism is my main income. How will I survive without tourists? You're closing the beaches. A beach is an open place. The people here in the garden route have been going to the beaches, but they've been keeping social distancing from each other. Now you're sending everybody to a mall where they're all crowded together and the risk of infection is much greater, which to me just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, look, I totally agree with you. And what is crazy is that in the townships, they don't wear masks. There's no social distancing. But on a white beach, you've got the police out in full, monitoring everybody and handing out fines. It is just completely cactus. They just don't have a clue. Or they're double standards.
Can I add something to that?
Please do. Please do, Mike.
Something I picked up in Ramaphosa's speech is that he said it's an offense not to wear a mask. He did not say that it's criminal. And that's something that we have to really look at. They choose their words very carefully, and they fear-mongering the people, and basically it's not a criminal offense, it's just an offense. So think about that, and let's see how we can work around that.
Yeah. Okay, now I've got, I think it's Paul. Paul, you want to join the conversation? Paul? Okay, let me just bring in someone who hasn't actually had a say yet. Colleen Naidu, you've been here from the very start. Would you like to...
This is a government decree, Scott. This is a government decree.
Yeah.
To be law, it has to be legislated. It's got to be gazetted in Parliament. So these are decrees like you would have in a typical communist society.
Yeah. Okay.
And people, the general, hear the president say something
but
that it's an offence.
But Scott, they'll say that it's law because of the state of emergency or whatever that we're in, so they're allowed to implement these things.
Right. But don't you think that this actually transgresses our human rights when they do these sort of things? Siva, what do you think?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous what they're doing. I'm not convinced that any virus is supposed to be a threat because we've never needed If we look when vaccines started, about 200 years ago, what happened before that? We never needed meds. We never needed vaccines before that.
Yeah.
All we had was food.
Yeah.
Well, our bodies are full of viruses and bacteria and stuff. You have absolutely no idea. I mean, most of our digestive system works because of viruses.
There was a doctor that said 45% of your DNA is viral, and coronavirus is 23% of all viruses.
Wow. Okay, look, I want to bring in a couple. Oh, here we are. Here's a new face. Who's speaking? Hi there. I see you on the screen.
Yeah, can I say something?
Please do. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been watching you for a long time. I've been doing a lot of research, guys, and I came across a video. I don't know if you're familiar with the VMAT2 gene.
No.
It's a pretty much a leaked video of Bill Gates addressing the CIA in a briefing in 2005.
I have
speaking about the VMAT2 gene. Speaking about the vaccine that's going to pretty much disable the VMAT2 gene, which if you Google the VMAT2,
that's your religious or spiritual side.
That's your God.
Yeah.
Correct, John. So they're looking to switch this off.
Well, I'm not having the vaccine. I refuse to have the vaccine.
No, of course not. Of course not. And I believe obviously it's a way to control. If you don't have desire, if you don't have creativeness, then you'd obviously be able to be controlled.
And there's also concerns that this will sterilize you as well.
Absolutely. Even the sanitizers, it's been proven carcinogenics that sterilize kids and adults.
It's actually
so yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Look up on the VMAT2 gene and what they're planning. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research. Sorry, guys. Thanks for the moment.
No, thank you for your input. That's great. Okay. Now, anyone who hasn't spoken yet, Galaxy, do you want to come and join the conversation? Galaxy? Was that you, Galaxy? Okay. Let's have a look here. If anyone would like to join the conversation, just put your hand up or let me know. Let me just ask somebody randomly here. Simone Abrahams, would you like to come and join the conversation?
Yes, thank you. To be quite honest, I do not understand half of what the president said tonight on his speech, because what mainly stuck in my mind is he constantly said, we South Africans. And I'm here thinking, like, how can you blame all of us for the stupidity of only a handful of people? I actually wanted to tell you the story this morning. I was in the store and I spoke to a black person in the store, and he was quite nice and everything. And he told me about a story he heard this morning on one of our local radio stations. And it was basically a father and a son who decided on Christmas Day that they were going to go for a bike ride through one of our local townships. And his dad told him that for every person in the township that they see who are wearing a mask, he would give his son $100 or $100, sorry.
Wow.
And his son was like all excited. He thought he was going to be going home with a bag full of cash. And he went home with only 200 Rand. In the entire township, they only saw 2 people who were wearing masks. The rest of them were not applying any social distancing. No one was wearing masks. They were like going on like it was a normal day.
That's insane.
yeah, and that kind of stuck with me, especially when the president kept saying we South Africans, or basically saying every one of us are to blame for what's happening now. And here I am thinking, like, you're blaming the rest of us who actually follow the rules, who don't necessarily agree with them, but we still follow them.
Yeah.
So how can you blame us for the stupidity of people who basically just think the rules don't apply to them?
Yeah. Well, what we're saying in effect is that there are two sets of rules, aren't there? One for the townships and one for the white beaches, for example.
Exactly. That's basically the point that it boils down to. And to be quite honest, it's actually so unfair. I mean, like, it's insane. I mean, even this morning I was escorted out of a store because I sneezed. And I'm serious. There was a lady that stood in front of me. I suffer from chronic sinusitis. So any strong scent or something will trigger my sinuses, and I would go into a total full-on sneeze attack. And a lady that was standing in front of me smelled like she bathed in perfume. And I started sneezing. It really does suck. So I started sneezing and everything, and the lady in front of me totally went, pardon my language, but she went batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And she started screaming for the security to vacate me from the premises and everything. And I'm just like, lady, calm down. I do not have the virus. It's just allergies. And the security actually didn't believe me. And he said straight to my face, but we all know you white people are liars.
Oh, you know, they're so bloody conceited, aren't they? But just while I'm thinking about it, guys, please remember to subscribe to Loving Life channel, and also please remember to also register to lovinglifetv.com, where we're able to give the truth, and we often put up videos there that we cannot put up on YouTube because they'll result in our channel being taken down. There's a huge amount of censorship on YouTube. All right, let me just give someone else the floor. Lisa VB, would you like to say hi to everybody and tell us what you thought tonight?
Hello. Just to let you guys know, I'm from the United States, California. Okay.
Okay. Well, welcome to our South African channel.
Mm-hmm. Man, this is, oh my gosh, I'm looking at, you guys are going through our Jim Crow over there, and it's insanity.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, and it breaks my heart. It really does. It really does.
Well, what's happening to South Africa is just terrible.
And the lockdown y'all having, oh man, I mean, this is crazy. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you an interesting story. The other day, the black nurse over at Tennessee, state of Tennessee in the United States, she got the vaccine, and now her left side is paralyzed.
Oh,
this is a black woman. Now, remember, Bill Gates said, we want to give it to the black people first. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm sorry. I was in the military. I'm good. I know. No, I'm good.
You know that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation were kicked out of India a few years ago when they gave a vaccine to thousands of school kids, and a lot of them were irreparably damaged.
And when you come up and tell me, oh, we want the black people to get it first, I'm like, I'm good. No, I'm all right. I did my time in the military. I'm good. I don't want your vaccines. I don't want nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But when I saw that woman, it hurt me. And there's another woman, a beautiful white female. I think she's dead. They gave her the shot in front of everybody, and we haven't seen anything on her Facebook for 3 to 4 days.
Wow. Is this the one that collapsed in front of the media?
Yes, it was her.
Wow. Now,
and go ahead.
If one can, you've been here for a long time, and would you like to have something to say about this? Can you hear me? If one can, it's a very unusual username, but anyway. All right, let me go on to someone else who hasn't had a chance to speak yet. How about Genevieve Steenkamp? Genevieve?
I just think people are dying from other stuff now. There's a lot more going on than people are actually realizing. I think it's 5G. I think it's everything they're spraying in the air. I actually doubt the tests. I don't know if they're putting something into you, and the fact that it's passing the blood barrier and actually affecting your immune system.
Yeah.
I just think it's a whole lot of stuff. We've been using this hand sanitizers and masks for 9 months now. The body can't take it. So I think people are going to start to die now, but it's not COVID.
Yeah. And look, I think everybody agrees that there's a huge amount of mistrust by the general population as to what is going on when it comes to the lockdown and so on. Now, if anyone can, I saw your hand. Do you want to add to this?
Hi, yes. Hello to everyone from a very cold England. I am South African, as you can hear by the accent, and I do come back very often, and I follow your program quite passionately, Scott. And I'm totally agreeing with what everyone has said prior to me speaking now. And I certainly believe that it's a culmination of so many things that are leading towards depopulation. And that is the ultimate goal. And once they have enough people harnessed, in their plan of action, and they are making use of this so-called virus worldwide to meet those goals. And I think everyone will agree with me there. That absolutely is what is happening.
Right.
And I think it will go away a lot quicker if everyone was less passionate about their own feelings and just agreed and went along with it, which we're not going to be doing, obviously. We all have our opinions and our right to speak up. And I think everyone must use that voice and do exactly what you're doing and replicate it worldwide. That we can't allow this to happen worldwide. And I absolutely stand by anybody that is basically for all of this.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me speak.
No props. Thank you for joining us. Isn't the answer then just civil disobedience? Derek, what do you think?
Absolutely. And I wouldn't call it even civil disobedience. I would call it standing up for your human rights.
Yeah.
And we are all humans, whether we agree or disagree. And we just now have to see whether there are people that have self-respect for themselves, or if they are actually just going along. And I know we all do it. We wear the mask if we have to do A, B, or C, because we're just complying to get through. But what are we actually achieving? We're not really achieving anything. I haven't set foot in a supermarket, a shop, anything, because I know I will cause trouble because I refuse to wear a mask.
Right.
So I just do not do it. I just do everything online, or I do without. I grow my own veg. I drink rainwater. You're going to think I'm real kinky.
No,
everyone.
I think it's great that you're prepping. No,
it's a case of prepping. You're right, and I'm so with you on that. People need 3 to 6 months supply, as you've been saying on your channel. Scott, and I fully agree with you on that.
Okay, now Derek, you were wanting to join the conversation.
No, look, I totally agree on everything said. When it comes to law, I've been doing some research with regards to the law, and I don't know if this might sound right, but apparently there's a difference when they're bringing stuff into law. Apparently, there's a difference between corporate law and common law. So when how do I put this? So when they create a law, it's part of maritime law, which they bringing into land. So it's contractual law. So for them to enforce something onto you, there has to be an agreement. So you would have had to have agreed to in a contract to say that you would abide by specific laws. So common law would be, I'm hurting someone or I murder someone, and obviously I need to be punished.
Yeah.
But when it comes to corporate law, it's contractual law.
Right.
And if you're a living human being, you and you didn't if you've contracted to them, I don't know if you guys are following what I'm saying, but so
well,
it's
what you're
pretty
saying
much
is
your
what they're doing. What you're saying is what they're doing is illegal.
yeah. So there's no contract between you and the government, right? There is
No,
so
Derek,
your fake news, yeah.
Derek, I've only got about 2 minutes left on Zoom. So
Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's okay.
okay, yeah.
I'm going to go across to Seba. Seba, would you like to add to the conversation?
Yes, we were talking just now about all the sanitizers and how it affects people. I've actually been taking steps to not take the sanitizer as much. I have a few of these plastic gloves I wear. It actually looks really ridiculous, but I mean, you know, it's better than going into the mall in 7 stores and sanitizing your hands 14 times a day.
Yeah.
So, because my hands actually started to swell up from the sanitizer, so I just decided I'm done with that.
Well, I have never used a sanitizer. Look, I'm in Australia, but I can tell you now that I refuse to use sanitizers because we need to have, you know, little babies. They eat mud and dirt because what they're doing is actually getting viruses and stuff in their system, which actually makes them immune. Now, if you knock all that out, your immune system becomes weaker because you don't have a resistance to all these different viruses. It's
I
not
agree.
rocket science. All right,
And-
guys, look, we're coming to the end. We've got less than a minute to go before Zoom is going to cut us all off. It's not me, it's Zoom doing it. But thank you so much for joining us, and have a lovely evening. And I hope that you've subscribed to the Loving Life channel and to Loving Life TV. .com, because that's where we're moving to. All right, guys, take care, and I'm going to wrap up this Zoom session now. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening.
Cool. Thank you, Uncle Scott. Great
Thank you,
evening, brother.
sir.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Scott. Cheers, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Okay, guys, there you have it. We've had a very interesting Zoom session, and I want to thank everybody who came into the room and participated, and those who just sat there and listened. Thank you for being part of that Zoom. This is something we're trialing to put onto the end of our live streams in 2021. So tonight was, I think, a very successful one. We had some audio issues at the start, but those were quickly resolved, and thank you for that lady who came on and gave some good advice. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up this live stream now. Please be safe. Please remember to subscribe to Loving Life and to register on lovinglifetv.com. There are a couple of very, very important videos that you'll see. They're very prominent on lovinglifetv.com, and you'll hear some very experienced or professional people talking about this vaccine issue and about the virus issue, and it's a real eye-opener. And as I say, if I had to put that onto another platform, it would be taken down like that. So that's why I'm so pleased we got lovinglifetv.com, because we don't suffer from any censorship. Alrighty, and thank you so much for the moderators. You always do a fantastic job. Gee, we had a busy night tonight. We had close to 3,000 people concurrently on here at one time. And yeah, Rudy says some clear Zoom rules must be issued before you start a Zoom session. Rudy, you're right. Can you help me with that? All right, guys, take care. Have a great evening.